Another game that we have kind of in that time window. It's our second only ranked on ranked matchup in the SEC, but the second ranked on ranked matchup across the nation this week is Boston College at Missouri. This will be Boston College's first Power Four opponent this season. And Boston College or Missouri will be looking to continue their streak of not giving up any points on the season. So, Hunter, man, what are your thoughts for the formerly SEC East team in Missouri?
This is the highest they've been since 2013, ranked at number 6. So they're looking to get that ranked win here. I mentioned it when we were doing around the SEC and at a high level, but Bill O'Brien, the former offensive coordinator at Alabama, is doing a great job there at Boston College. He's brought new life to that offense and really helped the quarterback there, Castellanos, limit the mistakes he was making last year. We've seen what they were able to do against Florida State. We know this Florida State team this year is not very good, but all credit to Boston College at what they were able to do. And a big piece of that is not only the run game. I mean, not only the air game, but the run game is a huge piece. They have 3 running backs over 100 yards on the year. Everyone's involved. Quarterback's making it go on his feet as well. So it's a good Boston College team. It'll be a good test for Missouri.
Yeah, and like I said, the run game is really impressive. It speaks to the 262 yards per game they average on the rushing side, or overall, and the rushing plays a huge role within that. Thomas Castellanos is one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the country. This will probably be the most mobile quarterback they'll play until they play Jalen Milroe a couple weeks later. It'll be a good test for Missouri's defense. I think on the offensive side, the story for Missouri has to be kind of where is Luther Burden at? The UO East right now is 5th in the SEC in yards with 179 yards on a couple and second in receptions at 16. But Luther Burden's only seen the end zone once. And no one's going to question it, right? There clearly are a ton of weapons there across the offense. They're running at a high-powered clip. They're obviously, I think they're averaging over 30-plus points a game. But this opportunity for Missouri comes from, when I look at the stats, they ranked 32nd in pass offense, and BC ranks at 100 in terms of yards given up at 272. So I'm expecting kind of like a coming out party for Brady Cook. Right now, he's behind people like Peyton Thorne in terms of yards on the season. So I expect to kind of see some more from the offensive side here from Missouri, given what we've seen from the BC defense and just a 2-game sample, of course.
Yeah, and the BC defense giving up such a high amount of passing yards in a game, that's coming from coverage, that's coming from DBs. What they're going to have to do in this game, knowing that Brady Cook is fairly accurate, he's had some mistakes in these 2 early games that they've played as far as accuracy and getting certain players involved, but they have the weapons. You're going to have to get pressure on them if you're Boston College. They did it against DJU last week. If they can do that here, they need to disrupt him before the ball goes out, because we know what the weapons for Missouri can do, given that 1-to-1. If they can get good release off the line, they're gonna have to stop them at the pass. But if they do, the running backs for Missouri are playing awesome. We talked about it. We talked about it in our preview. We talked about it every week, replacing Cody Schrader, but Marcus Carroll and Nate Noel are doing a great 1-2 punch dual system, running back duo that really Missouri is going to be bringing it from every angle. It's going to be up to the Boston College offense to be able to respond.
Yeah, and like you said, I think you definitely can't underestimate what Missouri's doing in the run game. We'll see what Boston College can do. Castellanos is definitely not alone in terms of his abilities. They have a great running back in Ward who's got 132 rushing yards in the season and 1 touchdown. So we're just going to have to see. Like, for Boston College, there's really not a lot of pressure on this game. You're in your first season with Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien took over like a pretty decent roster, but I think Bill O'Brien deserves a lot of credit for what we've seen him do at Alabama in the past with their offense, what we've seen him do at Penn State with Matt McGloin at quarterback, taking someone who is, for all intents and purposes, was not like a true high pro prospect and making him a good Penn State quarterback. And so Bill is certainly building himself a resume in terms of working with what he has and really stretching the most out of it. Most of those guys on the Boston College roster probably couldn't get offers to Florida State. And you saw them play up to the competition in terms of skill to win that game very convincingly. So I don't think that Missouri should sneak or sleep on this game.
Yeah.
The number 6 next to you can certainly be very empowering. But you got to remember, you just got to take one game at a time, and it's just the regular season. So
You do. And you got to look at Boston College from, you mentioned last season, the first year with Bill O'Brien. Now they started out the year last year 1-1, quick trip to a 6-6 final, for regular season. They won their bowl game 7-6. Boston College did, but they've behind Bill O'Brien this year, starting out 2-0. They have the opportunity to win this game. Vegas doesn't think so, but Bill O'Brien his team is bought in, and you can tell that that's on the field. They're crushing it on third down. They only had one penalty against Florida State. Teams like that are bought into the process. They're disciplined. They're doing the things on the field that you need to see from a team who can win top tier games. They beat Florida State. I don't think that they're resting on that at all behind him. I don't have the most love for Bill O'Brien because I don't think he was great at Alabama, but I think what he's doing here at Boston College is solid. Limiting the mistakes. Missouri, those 17-point favorites here for a ranked matchup is pretty high. What do you think? They're 89-0 right now if you count their first 2 games. No one scored on them, and they've put up 89 points. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I guess I'm kind of thinking about that 17-point number in terms of how I believe the game might go. Right. You look at Alabama, and I use this example because you think about it was 14-13, and then it was ultimately 42-13, and it looked like there was a huge gap. I believe that Boston College will play this game closer than it might look if Missouri does win by 16. I could see it being a 14-14 game at half, and then Missouri's able to get 2 touchdowns and kind of hold that defensive stop for the rest of the game. So I don't know if that gives them the full 16-point spread, but I would say 31-14. Maybe I'm just kind of in love with that close to under, but I just feel like I don't know. It's like I'm trying to figure out if that spread is disrespectful or if it's more so speaking to, do they believe that Boston College has the juice to hang in for the entirety of the game and make it come down to a drive or one score?
Yeah. I mean, that's it. They're averaging just under 45 points a game, and they're giving up none. So it's it's against inferior opponents, but how do you think a team like Boston College is going to compete? And, I think that my opinion is that Boston College is able to score here. Missouri is able to score more, and that's how you win football games. I got them 34-20. I have Boston College covering, but I'm not super confident about it. I'm going to stay away from it. I like what Missouri can do, but until I see them against somebody high-powered like Boston College, I'm going to wait on it.
It's understandable. So I think the skepticism is natural. Like I said, I like Missouri fans. Mizzou, be happy. We're excited for what's going on in Columbia. Like I said, I think Hunter had them in his playoff bracket, if I'm not mistaken, for when the season started. This is a great slate to kind of get your season off and running, ramping up. I'm sure you would much rather appreciate this slate than what Kentucky got, for example. And so it should be a fun one. I know it's going to be a sellout. I love Eli Drinkowitz. In Drink We Trust. So it should be a fun one out there in Columbia.